Half of this will be me struggling to get that mic on. All right, so this, there's like two different types of programming that I do, and one is totally slop, and the other one is decent. This is not the latter. So what I was interested in is like, the main problem that I had is like one irritation that I just fixated on. Is it was in a really large, it's like a AI webinar, and it has a chat on it. And it's a pretty active group, but it gets spammed by all of these like Otter AI note takers, and this is my note taker, or so and so is transcribing this, and nobody cares. But it really messes up the chat. So it's anyhow, that bugged me enough to make a tool out of this. Basically, this is going to be all in your browser. Oh, please work. Awesome. Yeah, so this is all in the browser, and it happens real time. So as you're talking, or if you ever want to talk about either capture the speech that you're doing, not this one because it's terrible, but if you want to capture a meeting, you can also switch it around so it's not just what you're saying. And that's kind of the fun part, which we can do here. Oops. So if you get a meeting and you like play it in the browser, let's see if this works.
This is Dalton plus Michael. Today we're going to talk about how do startups get big deals? 6-figure deals, 7-figure deals, 8-figure deals. How do they get big deals? And the kind of subtitle here is, are you selling tools or are you selling outcomes?
I think a very common first office hour topic for companies that get accepted into YCE is some version of them saying, Dalton, how do I get big deal? It's like they haven't even Googled it, right? This is just like a, and I think the context is that most people understand self-service because they signed up.
So the other thing is it does 2 times speed as well, which is nice because nobody actually wants to listen to this at one time. And I do actually have a newer version, and apparently is not what I've loaded, but it has the speakers popping up as it goes through. So each speaker will show. Let's see if I try to load that on the fly here, and I think it just took forever. The downside of this, this has a lot going on in the browser. So the models that I'm using are the new Voxtral real-time. It's a 4 billion parameter model, and to get that to run, we had to wait till the most recent Transformers.js v4 that came out, and now it can actually run a decent sized model. The downside is you also need to use WebGPU for this. Won't run in regular WASM. The latency is just way too slow. But what's kind of fun is if you have WebGPU for this, which is, you keep it as like a dedicated thing, you can add a couple other models. And one of the models was a very small embedding model. I think it's about 20 or 40 megs that does the speakers. It's not perfect, but it does pretty accurate, especially for things like this. If you have a meeting of 20 people, it's probably going to have an issue. But some of the fun things that it does is, like, if there is a word, like actually that one, Voxtral, you can correct it. Just click on it, and then it'll correct throughout there. The same thing will happen with speakers. Just make sure I don't have it turned off because that would be embarrassing. Yeah. I think I'd have to reload it. But yeah, the speakers will show up to the side, and then you just click on them, type in the name, and then it'll try to identify it as it goes through. If you really want speaker identification to be perfect, there are other models out there that are much larger, and you can try to get those to run. You'd probably have to try to get them to run in WASM instead of WebGPU, because WebGPU is struggling to keep the 4 billion real-time parameter model up and running. The couple issues that I ran into is this model is really accurate, so I really loved working with it. But if you just let it stream, your RAM will not it will not stay at a set length. It's going to just balloon up and crash your browser. So you have to cap it at a certain amount of tokens and a certain amount of time. So I think my tokens were maybe like 200 tokens or so in 45 seconds, and then it goes on a loop, and it just keeps looping through, and then it keeps it at a capped like buffer state, so it doesn't actually overload that. This is something I think I'm going to refactor into decent code, but right now it's all JavaScript. So
you're saying it's something that's rolling off,
mm-hmm.
And you're persisting it so that you have the transcript? Or?
Yeah, it's only persisted in here. So the actual real-time model, after these words are written out, it doesn't need to know about that at all. And then we also have a couple other, a really small Quinn model that is running in WASM, and that is opening up the different questions and keynotes and like tracking the notes of the meeting as it goes along. And I think it has, let's see if this works. We also have a like an oh crap button. If you get called on and you weren't paying attention to the meeting, then it'll generate a smart question. So, and then let's see if we stop this.
Have you done a stress test where you have all these models running at the same time?
They're currently running. And then at the end, I switched the Quinn 0.6 billion parameter model. It was running in WASM. Switch it to WebGPU for an overall like recap of the meeting, so it gets a better recap. Should be popping up, but
are you able to use
not.
like a sliding context window so it doesn't keep ballooning in memory requirements?
For Quinn or for
Voxtral?
Yeah, Voxtral is a set 45 seconds, and it's like cuts it off, and I think like 200 tokens.
Was it the Quinn model that was ballooning, or?
It was the Voxtral model that was going off. In about 5 minutes, your tabs die, and then your computer will die, and things are pretty nasty. Yeah. And I couldn't find this in. I don't do a lot of JavaScript. I don't like it. So when I rewrite this, I'll probably rewrite it in Rust to WASM. But I wasn't able to see the memory allocation on the heap inside JavaScript because it's in WebGPU, and it just doesn't show up. So that was kind of a gotcha moment for me that I had to realize. And then
You tried to use this with the Gemma models at all, or are they too big? Is there a reason to switch those?
Most of them are too big, but I think now the 4 billion mark is right where you could get those really small Gemma models. I'm sure you could get on there. You could switch that out for some of the recaps and the open questions part. Oh yeah, it also lets you know when the questions are answered too in there. This is not great code, like I said, but if you hang out with the repo, it will be refactored, and feel free to manipulate it, do whatever you'd like with it. No one will really detect that you're recording these. This is just for you. All of the data stays locally in your browser, and it is hooked up to IndexedDB. If you've done any like WASM work, it's like a little database that's just in your browser. So you do have a history, and like another thing I should do is have the models tag the title, but I just have the date as the title, so you can search through all of your past meetings and ask it questions. And lastly, also built in a connector. If you have like Claude Code, you can hit connect, and then your transcripts not the transcripts, but the questions get a lot better. And it can also run over your history. So you it's like a linking Claude Code to IndexedDB inside your browser to read through all of your history and do whatever you need. So if your employer says no AI, you can still use this. Yeah.
I was thinking you built a better granola, because granola will run in the background
around without being detected.
Oh,
But there's better features here than what
Yeah.
Granola has. The only thing that is they have different is you can take your own notes. Do you have a place to type in your own notes?
no, I don't pay attention to most of my
And then you
meetings, so I don't have any notes.
One add-on to the OCRAT might be identification of yourself, so it can automatically detect when you're called on. with a prayer
Oh.
question.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, red siren animation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that is something I did want to have is like switch the microphone. So even if it continues to transcribe from your meeting, but you could also like have voice notes in it. Depends on how active you are in the meeting. Yeah, this is another idea was adding the meeting as like a window inside, but most of the time when you're on a meeting, if anyone's presenting anything, you need it as large as you possibly can anyhow, so I didn't waste my time on that. And then I am taking a version of this and kind of twisting it around for a code architect. So you're able to go through and click on where it does have like your whatever project you're working on opens up inside this note taker. And then you're able to click on it and just talk about the aspects of like the front end that you like or don't like. And then based on the timestamps that it captures as you're talking about it and where your cursor is, it gives the coding agent a direct idea as to what you were talking about and what you were pointing at too. So you don't have to worry about like a one-to-one like DOM element that you're trying to change. Let me see if I covered these things.
You should have a model track your eyes.
Yeah. Well, you're not paying attention to your meetings, so your eyes wouldn't talk. Oh yeah.
Did you add the links to your presenters page?
Mhm.
So anyone wants to go find them, they should be on the
Yeah.
Tinker's presenter page.
I do have I'll jump back to that in a second. Yeah, so I also try to throw it up on Cloudflare at like 4. So if you go to that, you can get it for free. There is the link to my repo if you want to edit it, which I would wait a little bit till I refactor it because it is a nasty bit of code. But my link is on the AI Tinkerers thing for my GitHub repo too. So, cool. Any questions?
I don't have much of a question, but I want to call out that the idea there, the copy the notes to Markdown,
Mm-hmm.
it's really cool because a lot of times what I'll do is I'll have the transcript running and I'll just be copying, pasting the transcript
Yeah.
in the meeting, and then at the end of the meeting I'll be like, hey, here's my takeaways. Do we all agree on this? Like, because I'm on PM, and that's why getting everybody aligned is really critical at the end of the meeting, but always has to happen in emails back and forth. The idea of like copying the meeting notes before the meeting ends, posting in the chat and being like, we all like reviewing it with everybody, get alignment before the meeting ends. Oh, that's cool.
That would be
really cool. I could use that.
Yeah, I think there are 2 other things. Yeah, so if you did want to copy it straight out, you can take the time. So you can switch like the time around from like how long ago they set it to how much time has elapsed or the actual clock time. Or if you want to copy one thing, you're not going to want that 7:04 in there. So you can just move it out and copy it straight. But yeah, if you need the whole transcript, then it's a quick thing.
Is that copy to Markdown? Is that the meeting notes there? Is that what
Yeah, copy to Markdown is the meeting notes, and then it tries to take a picture of most unique things after every like 15 seconds. If it's the exact same image, it's not supposed to, but it's not it's not great code, like I think I've said 4 times. Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
Very cool. Sure.